How's the Josh?
Hi, sir.
How's the Josh?
Hi, sir.
One last time. साथ वाले इंस्टीट्यूट और यूनिवर्सिटी तक आवाज जानी चाहिए। यूनिवर्सिटी में पता चलना चाहिए यूपीएससी एस्पिरेंट्स पूरे जोश के साथ तैयारी के लिए रेडी हैं। How's the Josh?
Hi, sir.
That is good. जैसे आप सब अभी मुस्कुरा रहे हैं, एग्जाम जैसे पास आएगा मुस्कुराना बंद नहीं करें। As sir pointed out, today we will talk about mental toughness. Why do we need mental toughness? क्योंकि जैसे जैसे एग्जाम आएगा, the smile vanishes. If you are able to maintain that, it means you have mental toughness. That is the aim of today's talk. Sir has introduced me, but I'll just like to tell you a little bit more about myself.
The process rank is prestigious civil service examination. Welcome, sir.
हमारी तरफ से
Thank you so much.
थैंक यू सो मच। टोकन ऑफ अप्रिसिएशन फॉर कमिंग। थैंक यू। मेजर अभिनंदन सर, लास्ट टाइम भी इनका इंटरेक्शन, लास्ट टाइम इनका सिलेक्शन हुआ था, 749 रैंक था। आई जस्ट वांट टू टेल यू ब्रीफली कि इनका इन्होंने ये मेजर रहे हैं आर्मी में, 9 साल तो मुझे आर्मी में सर्व किया है, और ड्यूरिंग इनका जो आर्मी का टाइम था, टेन्योर था, उसी में इन्होंने प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट की। मुझे सारे लोगों को आइडिया होगा कि आर्मी इज गोइंग वेरी हेक्टिक, एज अ जॉब इनका बहुत हेक्टिक रहता है, उसमें टाइम निकालना और फिर अपना स्टडीज को टाइम देना। इनको मैंने रिक्वेस्ट की, पिछली बार भी इनको रिक्वेस्ट की थी, मैंने अभी भी मैंने इनको रिक्वेस्ट की कि आप पर्टिकुलरली ये दिल्ली से आए और इनका कल का वापसी का फ्लाइट है। ये थोड़ा सा ब्रीफली आपको शेयर करेंगे कि इन्होंने अपनी जर्नी में क्या क्या किया है, और इंशाल्लाह आने वाले टाइम में फिर इनको बुलाएंगे हम प्रिपरेशन के लिए थोड़ा सा और हेल्प लेने के इनसे। अभी के लिए हम इनसे पूछना चाहेंगे कि जो मेंटल टफनेस इस एग्ज़ाम में चाहिए होगी और इनकी सर्विस के साथ साथ इन्होंने बताई है, वो थोड़ा सा हमारे साथ शेयर करें, सो दैट आप लोग, क्योंकि अभी बड़े और इसमें जस्ट अभी आप लोग को अवेयर होना है, तो आप लोग मोटिवेट भी होंगे और इस जर्नी को सुन के आप लोगों को किस स्टेज पे क्या क्या हेल्प मिलेगी वो आप लोगों को आगे पता चल जाएगा। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग एंड हमारे साथ आप अपनी जर्नी शेयर करें।
Thank you. Thank you so much. So good afternoon, everyone. How's the Josh?
Hi, sir.
How's the Josh?
Hi, sir.
One last time. साथ वाले इंस्टीट्यूट्स और यूनिवर्सिटी तक आवाज़ जानी चाहिए। ठीक है, यूनिवर्सिटी में पता चलना चाहिए कि यूपीएससी एस्पिरेंट्स पूरे जोश के साथ तैयारी के लिए रेडी हैं। हाउस द जोश?
Hi, sir.
दैट इज़ गुड। तो जैसे आप सब अभी मुस्कुरा रहे हैं, एग्ज़ाम जैसे पास आएगा मुस्कुराना बंद नहीं करना। एज सर पॉइंटेड आउट, today we will talk about mental toughness. Why do we need mental toughness? क्योंकि जैसे जैसे एग्जाम आएगा, smile vanishes. If you are able to maintain that, it means you have mental toughness. That is the aim of today's talk. Sir has introduced me, but I just like to tell you a little bit more about myself. 10 years ago, I was just like one of you. I belong to a very small but a very beautiful town called Aknoor, not very far from here. It is situated on the bank of River Chenab, which I am sure somehow directly indirectly all of you might have seen. I did my schooling from Aknoor itself, from a convent school there, post which I did my graduation, that is engineering degree, again from Jammu, Government College of Engineering and Technology. Anyone from GCT here? No. The very reason why I want to tell you this is, I have not gone to Delhi to study, and UPSC does not want you to come to Delhi. It is the industry which wants you to go there. Especially in today's age, in the age of technology, in the age of internet, where everything is available on the click of a button. The most difficult thing is to not be a part of the rat race. And that is only going to happen when you have that mental toughness and you have that belief in yourself that तूफान आएगा, आंधियाँ आएंगी, बट वो अंदर का जो माहौल है, वो दिल है, वो बिल्कुल शांत रहेगा. That is the aim, not just for the UPSC but for life in general. So 2014 में I passed out from my college, and before passing out I was selected for the army, also for the Air Force. In fact, my joining for both the army and the Air Force was separated by 3 days, and I had to take a call whether to join the Air Force 5th of July 2014 or the army 8th of July 2014. And as luck would have it, I chose to join the Indian Army because one of the reasons, it prepares you for life. Not that the Air Force does not to demean other forces. All forces are equally good, but I was more inclined towards joining the army. So I joined, completed my 1-year training in the Indian Military Academy, Dehradun, and then got commissioned. I have been always a sports person all my life, even during the school days, during the college days, and even while after joining the army. So one of the lessons which I want to give you, don't be a sports person right now, but in your daily schedule, give yourselves 15 minutes to half an hour for yourself, which may include, if you want to go for a run, you can go. If you want to go for a walk, you can go. If you want to meditate, you can do that. If you just want to go for a walk in the park and listen to music, you can do that. But this half an hour is what will propel you for the other 23 and a half hours of your day. Pressure build up hota hai. You need to vent it out. You need to relax yourself, calm yourself. So this is one of the routines which I had in different ways. Sometimes all the 4 which I mentioned. It could be something else for you. So once I was in the army, I was actively doing all the things. The schedule you are all aware. It starts early morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and there is no fixed time when it is going to end. And in one of the training events, while I was training myself after having commissioned 3 years into the army, 2017 was the time I got injured. In one of the training events, I got an injury in my disc, I got a spine injury, and I got an ankle injury. And over a period of time, 2017 till 2019, it did not improve. In fact, it only went worse. I had problems walking. I used to sit in the office while doing the administrative task with a support. And the last time I ran was 3rd April 2017. I remember the date because that was the time I last ran or I last played a competitive sports. So I had an option then. Because I was a permanent commissioned officer, I could have easily been in the army and got some compassionate postings and spent 20 years. And after 20 years, I could have gone for a pensionable job. I could have retired with pension and had a very easy life. But that was never the thought process. This beautiful and wonderful country of ours does not need its youth to while away their time. Swami Vivekananda says that you are young only once, and if you get it right, once is enough. Today more than 50% of the people in India are young. Just remember, even if 10% of them get it right, we can take our country to where we cannot even imagine. So that was the thought process. I was still trying to work to the best of my abilities in the army, because it cannot happen that you are wearing the uniform but you are not doing justice to it. So 2019 was the time I decided that now I need to plan something else, where my injury will not be a limitation for me, and that fire that is burning within me to serve for the country may not diminish with my injury. So 19 I took a call that I will appear for the civil services. There were problems, plenty of them. The first, time. You do not have time in the army. A lot of students ask me how many hours you used to study. When I was on leave, I could have studied. Leave was generally 20 days, 25 days. The rest, we were in the units. So most part of the year I used to study only for minimum 5 hours and maximum maybe 6 to 6.5 hours, because I did not have the time. I have always believed, and I am here to tell you today, that this entire universe, Shah Rukh Khan का dialogue है, all of us have heard, अगर आप किसी चीज़ को चाहो तो सारी कायनात आपको उससे मिलाने में जुट जाती है. This is not a dialogue. This is a truth. And I am a very live example of this. Injuries and adversity. I have loved, as I told you, why I told you I loved sports? Because in my school days, in my college days, come what may it be examinations. As such, those of you who are engineers might know that we hardly study for the last few days in the engineering. But come what may, I used to play every day for 2.5 hours. That was a very important part of my day. Without missing till 3rd of April 2017, the day I got injured. Maybe 10 years behind. If you see my schedule, I used to play every day 2.5 hours and sweat it out, because that was life for me. So taking that physical component out of me, sports out of my life, it could have been a kind of depressing experience. But I believe that the youth of this country are not meant to be depressed. They are meant to rise above the challenges. So I took a call. I have energy. I have the fire within me to work for the country. So why not civil services? Where my physical limitations may not be that much a hindrance as it may be in the army. I am again reiterating that I could have continued in the army without anybody asking me anything. This was my choice. Why I am telling you this? Just 10 minutes from now, 10 minutes earlier, I was speaking to somebody outside. They was telling कि आपने ये attempt दिया, you have qualified. और पिछला attempt दिया, I qualified last year also. I got 749 rank, in which I was allotted the Railways Management Service. So I joined there and I proceeded on a year-long leave, which is the option there. So he was asking me that if you were already in the service, or for example now you will get maybe some other service, what motivates you to go on? So that is the reason I told you the story of mine. Nobody is ever going to question you. If you qualify the examination, don't qualify the examination. You can go today and do anything that you want to do in your life. UPSC is not the only thing, that's true. All of us are here today, including me and including all of you, are here today because at some point of time in our life we wanted to crack UPSC, we wanted to be civil servants. Is there anyone sitting here who is here by force, under the pressure of teachers, colleagues or parents? Anybody here? I am sure not. It may have been the pull factor or the push factor, but now you are here because you want to do it. You have the fire to do it. So if there is something which you want to do, nobody else is forcing you, then how come that energy level go down? Then what is the big thing about picking the books up again and reading? It is because you want to do it. Nobody is telling you. You can take any other job. All jobs are good, but you are here not because this job is special, because you want to do it. Especially in today's world where technology rules the roost. You can do anything. There's social media, there's so much AI thing going on. You can be expert in that. Nobody is going to question you, and you may earn better in those jobs as compared to civil services. But again, coming back, you are here not because of anything else, but because you want to be here, because you want to see your name in the lists. You want to be a civil servant. That is why you are here. So from here, logically, what is the conclusion? What is the inference? All of you must be preparing for CSATs. We are required to draw some inferences in the CSAT. So what is the inference here? Inference is, there is no point, there is absolutely no chance why you should be feeling low. Anxiety may sometimes creep in. But how come anxiety comes? Can anybody tell me? What is the reason, what is the cause of anxiety? Overthinking. Anybody else? Let me tell you one thing. Specifically focusing only on the 3 stages of civil services. Civil services is not just prelims, it is not just mains, and it is not just interview. It is a combination of all 3. It cannot happen that you prepare for prelims and you prepare for the mains later. It has to go hand in hand. Similarly, it cannot happen that you prepare for the first 2 stages and wait for your mains result to prepare for the interview. Interview is not an interview, it is a personality test. It is how you have groomed yourself right from the moment you were 1 year old. So if you think there is a scope for improvement, most important skill that you need to learn, not just for qualifying the examination, but for your success thereafter. Because we belong to a state in which there is lot of uncertainty in terms of the administrative things that we are supposed to handle. Lot of things happen. So most important skill that you all need to learn is communication skills. Why I came to this point? Because when I was asking the question, somebody just murmured and then did not answer. It depicts a lack of confidence. I agree that in the beginning we all feel a little shy. I was a very shy student someday in my life. Today I am not. And that has not happened overnight. It is because when I was in class 6th or 7th, I made a conscious decision that I will participate in anything and everything that happens in my school and college. Be it sports, be it literary events, be it quiz competitions, be it cultural events. I was never a good singer, I was never a good dancer. But to my amazement, I won a first prize in class 8 in a singing competition. But believe me, I am not a singer at all, not even a bathroom singer. But the point of telling you this is, even now if the school life is gone, I believe the college life is also gone, but our life is still there. We have everything under the sky to be achieved and grasped. If we can dream it, we can achieve it. So somebody was asking the question, if you have the thought process and vision to become something someday, not just in administrative field, but in your life, remember, confidence is the cornerstone. And speaking skills, communication skills are not learned in a day. It is a matter of practicing every day. So coming back, what was the question we had? Why do we have anxiety? Anybody? Fear is one thing. Any other? So generally we have 2 answers, overthinking and fear. Now what is the solution out of it? Anxiety comes and it will come. How to overcome? That is the question. One thing which we all need to inculcate in life is life has never been won by thinking. Forget about overthinking. Yes, we need to plan. Yes, we need to have a vision. But once that is prepared, there is no looking back. After that, it needs your action. Life is not meant to be feeling the things every now and then. Isolate yourself from feelings. You may not feel like reading today, but at the same time you may not feel like eating also. But do you stop eating? So why come the reaction of individuals change with respect to what suits us. So that mental toughness begins in the routine activities that we have. So that is where that flower that will bloom maybe a year from now starts. Believe me, all of us are special. All of us have the potential to do anything. This UPSC examination is just a small thing. You are far greater than all that. But what will happen? The motivation will die down. For some of you, maybe the moment you step down the stairs. For some of you, maybe when you reach your home. And for some of you, maybe a month from now. But for those of you who do not need me for motivation, that is the aim. The motivation has to come from within. Coming back to the same point, you are here not because anybody else has told you. It is because you want to be here. You want to be somewhere where you dream of yourself to be. So if that is something, then I don't believe that something can demoralize you. Yes, things will be there which will trouble you. But there is one thing, that it is out of adversity. It is out of failure that we are born. I failed in 2021 prelims. And you will be amazed. General studies I qualified by a margin of 6 marks. And CSAT by 0.8 or something. I could have felt dejected. But I tried to identify where I went wrong. And the inference which I drew from that. Let me tell you, I might have felt bad, but not more than 5 minutes. Because I knew that I had done certain mistakes, which I need to overcome rather than keep thinking that what if I fail again. Second point of fear. Anxiety and fear will come when we are focused upon the outcome and not the process. So the next thing that we all need to do is to learn to remain in the process. Resting is a part of the process, just know that. Resting is no time for overthinking. Resting is a time to regather your energy, to regather your thoughts and give them some space and a breather. So the moment you realize that, life starts changing. All of us will feel bad for examinations, for heartbreaks, for some events in our life. That is a part of the life. That is not going to change. What is going to change is our reaction to it. We learn to be better. Life does not get easy. Life may get even tougher. But we will be even tougher than life. That is the aim. That is the aim, that was the aim, that will be the aim. If you believe this statement, then let me tell you, you cannot be defeated. You cannot lose. Failing in one attempt in UPSC is no thing to stop you. Failing in 2 attempts will not stop you. You are the one who will stop yourself. Because with time we let our emotions overpower our common sense. Emotions are good as long as we use it in a positive sense. We use it constructively. The moment you think your emotions are overpowering yourself, just wake yourself up. That is happening because we are slipping into a kind of abyss in which we stop thinking and we go to a zone called overthinking. So it is the actions that will determine and not the thought process in terms of thinking. Yes, you need to have a vision, as I told you earlier. So 2019, coming back to my story, I was posted to Amritsar that time. Before that I was posted to Assam in Tezpur. So 2019, Amritsar, I went to Jodhpur. And luckily, unluckily, that was a unit in which I was required to travel a lot. And you will be amazed, from 2019 till 2022, when I cleared my mains of last year, These 3 years, I always had my 2 bags ready for me. One was full of uniform and the other full of books. And of course, the books one was heavier than the uniform. And I moved around about 6 cities, and within those 6 cities around about 50 times in those 3 years. So for those of you questioning yourself that you need stability in terms of place, no, you do not need that. You need stability and peace in your mind. And for me that was intact even despite my injury. I had the privilege of going to Manasbal. I was posted there for about 4-5 months. People could have, because of the injury, back injury, because that time it was winters, it was snowing there. People could have backtracked, but I took it as an opportunity. I was working on a system which required a clear weather to function. So why I am quoting this incident? Because I had a period of around about 15 days in which it was snowing continuously in Srinagar. In those 15 days, that was the only time I could study more than 6-8 hours a day. I studied around about 12 to 15 hours per day for those 15 days. That was the only time I studied for more than 10 hours. So for those of you telling me you only need to study 15 hours, 12 hours to qualify, that is a misnomer. That is not the correct thing. Now little bit I would like to talk about a strategy. All of us know what are the subjects. By now I am sure you must have chosen your optionals also. I have been interacting with a lot of students since last year. The most confusing thing for students is the source from where to study. You can take any source. Believe me, it is not the sources that will give you victory. It is the person or the man behind the machine, as we say in the army. It is you, the one who is studying the sources. But the secret is, once you have chosen a set of sources, stick to it. If you want to study spectrum, I have studied spectrum for history, and for the starting 2019, I have not even thought of changing spectrum. I have not referred to any other book. What is the advantage of that? Whenever now I am required to revise the spectrum, it takes me 5 days. At max, not more than that. So the secret is sticking to your strategy and to your sources. Yes, there are times when we need to do value addition in terms of certain current affairs, certain reports, and certain other value added substance. But the basic stuff has to remain the same. Anxiety and fear comes because we have the fear of missing out. One question will come that is not a part of the spectrum. We close the spectrum and we pick up some other book. You study 10 books and still UPSC will find out one question which is not in any of the 10 books. It is not the one question that will sail you through the prelims. How many marks do you need to qualify the prelims? This time it was 75. Last year it was 80 something. So to be comfortable, you can be anywhere between 95 and 100, you are through. So technically that means you need to get how many correct answers? 50? 50%? So aim is to get 60 correct answers to be very comfortable. If you are attempting 100 questions, which I am sure none of us will do, but if you are attempting all 100 and you are able to get 60 correct answers, it means 40 wrong answers. The mathematics says that you are still through the prelims. So you still have the opportunity or the freedom to get 40 wrong answers. So that is the amount of space that you have. So once you have that space of getting 40 wrong answers, so why do you need to change sources rather than just stick to one source and revise that same thing, so that whatever is asked from the spectrum, for example, at least you are not missing that much. You are not getting that one wrong. Problem arises, one question in any of the PYQs we see, that is not a part of the books that we have read, whole strategy changes. Whole sources change. We start running behind the market. What are the new books in the market? Avoid that. You may add a few things which you read in your test series or somewhere, but the basic sources need not change. Another thing is, people talk about not being able to revise the syllabus in a timely manner. All of us can have different strategies for that. I have always believed in a very simple strategy. Current affairs will always be a part of some part of my day. It may be 15 minutes, it may be 30 minutes, or it may be 1 hour, not more than that. Rest of the number of chapters and the number of rough estimate of the number of pages which I am required to read. So that way I will be able to plan that in the next 5 days, these are the number of hours that I have available with myself, and this is what I need to cover. So that will give me a very clear approach. I am not required to that time think about मेरा history pending है, मेरा CSAT pending है, मेरा environment pending है. There is a very clear strategy, simple plan, and a very clear implementation. You get up in the morning, read history for a few hours, read current affairs, practice some maps, do some CSAT, come back to history. If you are including more number of books, this is my belief, you can totally differ in that. Then the more the number of subjects you are reading simultaneously, the more complex the management becomes. The more complex your timetable will become. So this is one of the ways in which simplicity can be achieved in your planning for every day. Another question which is about the number of hours, that is up to you. But believe me, consistency is not about number of hours, because if you say that you are reading 14-15 hours a day, you cannot sustain it for 1 year. You may read for 15 days, like I told you I did for 10-15 days in Srinagar, but not more than that. So if you are totally free, I mean you are dedicatedly preparing for civil services, then you can divide your day in such a way that you can continue that process without exhausting yourself. It might not happen that for 15 days you are reading for 15 hours, then for next 7 days you have not even read one word because you got ill. So health is as much important as much as the preparation in this journey. You need to be healthy in your thoughts and in your body. Another question which I was discussing with Ove sir, you need to realize that I believe that, is there anybody who is working also simultaneously? Anybody? So I believe all of you are dedicatedly preparing for civil services. This is the golden time to clear the civil services. Because as you say, with time, some lethargy will come, which should not have been, but it will come. Because it is a human tendency. What is required to overcome that is discipline. But most of us do not do that. Second thing, with time comes pressure. Pressure of the society and the family to do something in life. Even if we do not consider that, I do not consider that, there will be a pressure from within that we have given some finite years to the preparation. So if you are today dedicatedly preparing for civil services with no obligations to be a bread earner for the family, this is a privilege for you. Once you join any of the jobs, there are certain requirements. There is a limitation to the human body and the mind. If you are working somewhere for 8 to 10 hours, then you cannot be expected to give in even 6 to 8 hours of effective work unless you are absolutely motivated. And that also will be subject to what happens in the office, your personal life, and how you respond to it. So this is the best time for all of you to crack this examination. Only thing that is required is a very simple strategy. Don't get too much perturbed by what toppers have to say, what the media has to say, what the market has to say. Initially, when you start with your planning, consult a few people, consult some expert people who have been there in the process. Once you do that, according to your interests, your thought process, formulate a strategy. Once that strategy is done, don't waver on that. There is a saying that look back and you are dead. Don't look back. I can assure you, suppose, I'll just give you an example again or ask you a question. Suppose you are required to go from place A, Jammu, to a place B, Srinagar. What are the options that you have? Anybody? Either you get a ticket, book a plane and go to Srinagar. That's one way. You can go by road. If you are very much into physical fitness, you can go running also. If you have a lot of time, you can go walking also. But the point of saying is, it is a very clear process. If you start from here and take any of the means, the times may vary depending upon what source you have taken. But if you started from place A and going towards place B, and you have in thought process that whatever happens midway, I am just going to keep next step after the first one. Keep walking. If you are driving, keep driving. Keep the foot on the accelerator. What is going to stop you from reaching Srinagar from Jammu? A plane crash? A road accident? Or if you are going by foot, even that will not stop you. So the aim of telling you that there is a definite process which is required to clear the examination or to go from place A to place B. Suppose you have required what is required to be done. If I am required to move from here to there and I start walking and I do not stop, it might take me time. But is it possible that I do not reach? Unless in the middle of somewhere I got a call and I turn back or I start doing something else. So this examination is also a challenge or a race from place A to place B. If you do what is required to be done, it might happen that first attempt, second attempt, you are not able to do it. But can it happen that you are not able to do it? It might happen that you are on the verge of, suppose you are on the fourth or fifth attempt, you might be on the verge of making it. Your preparation is at such level that you are just about there. But you have 1 or 2 attempts left, but you decide enough is enough. I am not going to give it again. That is fine if you don't want to regret, because this is not the only thing that you can do or are born to do. But if you will regret later, what is the point? So the whole thing is just focus on the process. Once you have made that strategy, once you have made that plan that Jammu se Srinagar jana hai, nobody can stop you. And if you complete the number of steps that are required to reach Srinagar, nobody can stop you unless you turn back or you halt somewhere in Kishtwar and want to enjoy the mountains there and not in valley. So just focus on the process. It is the process that makes champions, not thinking, not overthinking at least. Times will come when you feel really bad, really demotivated. उसका एक ही तरीका है, every day when you sleep, every day without missing, 15 minutes before you sleep, close your eyes, or if you can go out for a walk, that's okay. Otherwise, wherever you sleep, close your eyes and just think about yourself. Talk to yourself that this is where I want my dreams to take me, where I want my life to take me. And ask yourselves one question: am I doing or have I done today what is required to take me to my dreams? Even if 1%. So this 1% every day